Hey, Brendan here with your weekly update. So, our campaign is over. I'll get to that in a minute, but first, your percentage bars. The Mistborn screenplay is at bing 50%. I'm moving right along on that. Had some good feedback from chatting with the studio and things like that with Apple about what they're expecting. They haven't read it yet, but I'm feeling really good about how this is going. Book 3 of Riftwake is at bing 15%. Jancy is focusing, I'm sure, on getting the last things ready for Book 2, because Book 1 comes out later this year, and Book 2 is what she's just polishing off the last revisions on. And Book 3, she's 15% of the way through. So good progress on that trilogy. As we mentioned, the campaign, it's over. I'm actually recording this before it ends. It's at 10.5 million right now, around 70,000 backers. I am really excited that you guys wanted these goofy picture books. I'm very proud of them. I love them. It is an odd sort of thing for us to do, and took a lot of time and resources. Poor Isaac's team. They've been working on these for a long time. They are gorgeous. I think you're going to love them. And of course, Fires of December, I'm very, very pleased with. So all around, good stuff. If you didn't hear, we offered both covers. So watch last week's for that. I'm pretty sure you probably have already seen that last week update. But regardless, thank you. You can watch the VOD of my live stream, which I will be doing tomorrow, but will have been several days old by the time you see this, and hopefully we talked about some fun things. No Halo on that one, though, I don't think, right? Nope, no Halo. But if you want to go back to the one before, I play Halo 2 mediocrely, and you can enjoy seeing me get killed by the Covenant over and over again. One other thing I want to mention is we like to shout out cool crowdfund campaigns, and the other Brandon is doing one. Brandon Mole, my good friend, and the person that I get mistaken for probably the most often by people who haven't met either one of us. There are two Brandons who live very close to each other who both write fantasy novels. This was much more confusing when neither of us was super popular, and poor children would ask their grandparents to go get their Fablehaven book signed, and they would see that I was signing at a bookstore, and they would show up with the Fablehaven book saying, my grandchildren love these books. And usually I just went ahead and signed them. And he went ahead and signed my books when the grandparents showed up with copies of Mistborn. But he's crowdfunding Fablehaven. I had him on Intentionally Blank, and we chatted about it, so that'll go live tomorrow, our chat about that. But I always like seeing what people are doing in the indie space when it comes to filmmaking and whatnot. I think Iron Lung is a really cool example of that in recent months. And so, yeah, if you're interested, give it a look. They're starting their crowdfund. Join us tomorrow, where Mole and I talk about random stuff. Speaking of author friends, I'm going to be in Atlanta in a few weeks. I'm going there for JordanCon. But when I do events like this at a convention, I usually like to add on something else, something for those who aren't attending the convention. And so we reached out to my arch nemesis, John Scalzi, and he agreed to appear with me at a very confrontational event together as a chat and signing. It's presented by Eagle Eye Bookshop there in Atlanta. I've signed with them many times. They're a fantastic independent bookseller in the area. They've been hosting events for me, almost 20 years. So fantastic bookstore that I love. John's going to come by, and he's a good sport because, remember, he's my evil nemesis, but I am not his. I just declared that one day. Sometime maybe, I'll probably tell the story there of why I declared John Scalzi to be my evil nemesis. He was my very first rival way back in 2005, and he didn't even know it. And so this is on Thursday, April 16th from 7 to 8 at the Decatur First Baptist Church. Tickets go live this Thursday, which is April 2nd at 10 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Link in the description. We will do a Q&A chat with each other, and we'll have a pop-up shop available at that church all that day. We will be bringing out cool Dragonsteel merch. We'll have signed books pre-signed there for sale. We'll have all sorts of things. It goes from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. And then the event starts at 7. So anyway, grab some tickets of John Scalzi and Brandon Sanderson. I'm sure we will come up with something very fun to do. It isn't often that I get to do a signing with my evil nemesis. In fact, it's been over a decade, I think, since he and I signed together. I think last time we were together was in Italy, a decade ago or so. So first time that the two of us have been together. And if you haven't read John's books, they are really good. I am quite a fan of his work. JordanCon. So I'm going to be out there for JordanCon. I haven't been in a while, so I am happy to be back. Tickets for my signings at JordanCon go live this Thursday at 10 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. We are hosting the ticketing on our page, not JordanCon's page, all right? Because my team is very good at handling how lines go for me. You do have to be attending JordanCon to get one of those tickets. So check the link in the description for that as well. And speaking of Robert Jordan, brief Wheel of Time Leatherbound update. Adam got us a little update last week attached to the weekly update. I got a nice big update today. Basically, what's taking the time on the Wheel of Time Leatherbound? We are waiting right now for new dies to be cast. These are like the things that press into the book that smash into it and deboss it and things like that. And so those have to be cast and then shipped to the bindery. And then they have to test them all out and things like that. And so that's what we're waiting on. That's what takes time. The idea is that we really want to make sure it turns out right this time. And again, many of the ones that have been shipped out already look great, but we're being extra careful. We don't want to have this happen a second time in a row. So thank you for your continued patience on that. We are going to take care of you, as I've said many times, and we will update people via email once we know more. But it just takes a little bit of time for these things to get manufactured and sent to the bindery, and we're waiting on that right now. So there's your brief update there. That's our weekly update. Thank you for sticking around with me. I will be back next week. And also, premature, but also late celebration of successful crowdfund. Thank you so much.